the list anti-epileptics, all the drugs for depression, Xanax, so on and so forth. But vaping doesn't eliminate poison, but it's definitely a safe alternative. For people that want to be discreet, that can't smell like terpenes. When you combust cannabis, it'll definitely light you up a little bit. So just like a cigar would. You smell like it. The smoke. It's hard to get rid of smoke with vape. If you haven't seen a vaporizer, it's a metal cylinder that has an atomizer, has cannabis oil, and it has a battery. So your vaping, just make sure your vape is good quality because the vapes, absolutely, the vapes, they do expel a lot of heavy metals. So the EPA is trying to figure out, hey, we got a whole millions of people now are consuming metals, even in with the flowers, a lot of metals. So we're trying to figure out the research. What is the daily limit of vaping? We have to restructure the chromium, lead, all that's in cannabis. So eventually we'll have to do more research on that on long.
Just to add on to that, there's actually a DNA test that you can do to see how your liver functions, and that's for all meds. And cannabis is a medication that does go through the liver. So if you're taking 10 to 12 meds, like the average senior takes 7 to 10 medications a day. So, most of those 99% of drugs go to the liver, and cannabis is one of them. So it is something that you might want to test. I mean, if you're a fast metabolizer, then you may need a higher cannabis than, that's right.
That's facts. That's facts. She's talking truth. Yeah, I don't want to delay or talk, but yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Stanley, I wanted to talk a little bit about veterans. Can you tell me how does cannabis consumption affect the retirement or compensation benefits of an organization?
Yes, and thank you to your service for all my veterans in here. So one of the most common problems that we run into with veterans when it comes to accessing cannabis is, hey, does this affect my benefits? A lot of disabled veterans aren't employed. A lot of them have unemployability factors from their disease processes and or injuries. So we have to be clear with the education that if you're already service connected for disability, I'm a service connected disabled veteran, you will keep your rating, which is 10, 20, 30, up to 100% disability. The issue comes in states that don't currently have medical cannabis or robust education programs. If they're going to do like they did me, and when you tell them that you prefer to take a tincture over pain pills, they're going to put you in a substance abuse treatment. So for veterans, yes, you do need to talk to your physicians about it. Let them know if they aren't educated that you will, potentially help educate them. But for my veterans, I think that they are one of the most slept on demographics. There's not many advocates for veterans, and it could be a vital key to reestablishing a quality of life for those who serve.
Thank you. Angela, I want to come back to you. So what legal issues do patients face when they use medical cannabis, especially where it's strictly controlled or?
Well, some of the legal ramifications is law enforcement. When you think about it, that was one of the issues that I had about our cannabis card. For a couple of years that that concerns because how is that connected? So therefore, if I'm ever stopped by the police, I'm on record with that card. So now they're looking at me, okay, she's a cannabis user. So one of the things too is we talked about catalyze, how cannabis catalyze in your body. It's there for a while, and if you eat something, eat a fatty food later on. You reactivate. Basically, you can feel higher or elevated at that point. So what if you happen to be driving, you stop by Burger King, you grab your lunch, had your medication that morning, and all of a sudden now starting to feel high. police stop, you're using your medication. You didn't even know because, of course, the lack of education, people don't even know how. So now they're testing you, or now you're incarcerated because you had cannabis in your system, or even if you have it in your car, But I just think that that card is connected to having a license connected. I think that it is an issue for us to have that. So that's just one, but also too with the not being, the other part of it too, we're talking about just the state of Georgia. When we're thinking about patients, we have a medical cannabis card, but what if you have to travel for another state? How do you take your medication? What do you do? So you run the risk of not being able to have medication for the patient because where you're going may not be.
Thank you for that. In talking about the therapeutic and medical uses, I'm actually going to direct this question to you. What are the current medical uses of cannabis? And how does cannabis work in the human body? Even in layman's terms. Thank you.
I think we currently have 18 diseases in the state of Georgia to make you applicable for medicinal cannabis. It's all inclusive to me. I don't think we need to lobby and add any more. It's chronic pain, there's peripheral neuropathy, there's autism. For the pediatric population, when I was doing the cannabis recommendation, it was sickle cell, epilepsy, and particularly Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. It's a pediatric epileptic disorder, and of course autism is on there. And one out of 31 births, that kid has autism. So if someone's being born every hour, third of those babies will be on that spectrum. So that's a common card. The parents will get a card. For the elderly patients, it's hospice, end of life, cancer, of course, Lou Gehrig, ALS. There's some stomach issues that people suffer. Millions of people, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease. Cannabis is definitely healing those epithelial cells. Your remission is a lot longer. MS, Mook over there. I see you, baby. He's an MS soldier over there. So lupus, is all on the list for cannabis can help you. Evidence-based medicine, cannabis is definitely helping with nausea and vomiting that's associated with chemotherapy. Evidence-based medicine, cannabis can slow down seizures. Everything else is all popular opinion. Research is coming out. Hopefully, we will reschedule or deschedule cannabis, so the research will be very robust, and we can start making a lot more health claims. But everything else right now is what you said. And as a physician, I don't listen to what you said. I can't recommend cards just because of what you said. So that's really hamstringing the momentum. Is lack of research because we can't make the health claim. And not everyone's going to be relaxed when they inhale or take a gummy. Some people are going to be paranoid. So we can't say it's for anxiety. We can't say it's for depression. Some people still have suicidal ideation. They have a suicide attempt. So what we can say, hey, look, there's no deaths associated with cannabis. As a physician, if the benefits outweigh the negative outcomes, you don't have this bad family history of substance abuse or addiction, try cannabis. Sure. Yeah, there's all these different type of delivery methods. But again, Georgia's oil only, 20 fluid ounces. I know everybody wants to smoke and inhale, but that's not legal. It's be a felony. People want their vape pens, but again, that's not legal. That's a felony. So that's a big problem because of when I would do the cards, the oil was great, but inhalation is number one for a reason. It gets in your bloodstream just almost as fast as an IV. So if Mook's out there and he's got an MS flare up and he's got spasticity in his lower back and he's super uncomfortable, does he want to wait an hour for a gummy or does he want to inhale and with that inhalation, that oxygen blood exchange is within seconds, and he's getting relief. The man's suffering. So there's a lot of issues with this program, and that affects them too. When they passed this bill in 2016, they said, "Hey, we'll pass this cannabis cultivation for the patients, but in return, we're going to receive all that taxes, right? That highways, schools, police. But they're not winning, neither are we winning. So this is very important, so that both sides could be a win-win, because only then that's when the program will become more robust.
For that. And real quick, before I'm not done with you yet, because the other part of my question, is how does it interact with body? Speak about the endocannabinoid.
Sure. The
Thank you.
endo and all this stuff was just discovered like 20 years ago. So don't think that anyone is behind what anyone can learn and know, be up on this table if you just like read for like 5 minutes. So
I don't know about 5 minutes, but
like literally 5
I hear
minutes. We
you, I
all
hear you, I
know
hear
about
you.
the cardiovascular system, right? Do your cardio, right? We all know the respiratory system, right? Gastrointestinal system, reproductive system, the neurological stuff, right? There's a system that's just as important called the endocannabinoid system. We say endo because it's endogenous, it's within. The plant cannabis mimics two chemicals we make in our body, anandamide and 2-AG, right? Right? We make those chemicals, and that same chemical mimics the flower, but a small quantity. So this is nothing new that we're ingesting. Our body already makes it, right, for just this tiny amounts. So the endocannabinoid system is a great regulator. It's super smart. If you got if Stanley's gut is acting up or he sprains his ankle, say he hurts his ankle, right? Your body's going to automatically send this inflammation cascade, right? That's what it does when it has injury. The ECS can say, brain, stop making all those mast cells, all that stuff making my ankle blow up like a balloon, right? It can also go down there and say, hey, opioid receptors, I need some pain relief. Serotonin receptors, you're feeling bad, I need you to feel better, right? So, and then it has TRPV1 receptors, other receptors that cause pain, inflammation. Cannabis talks to those receptors. So it's not just getting you high, it's also helping regulate and boost up other parts of your body that needs it, parts of your brain that need it. So it goes upstream and downstream. We all have an ECS, but like I said, some people can get anxious, some people can get mellowed. The ECS is like a fingerprint, like a snowflake. Everyone has a different one. So my new users, don't read and say, Jack Harrow's gonna make me excited, do this. That's all BS. Focus on the chemotype, the CBD THC ratio, focus on the terpenes, the limonene, the pinene, the myrcene, because your nose knows, and it's gonna be on the label, right? Focus on those flavonoids, and if it helps you, buy more of it. Because if it doesn't help you, like she said, it's post-tax dollars. It's not going to last. And when doctors do a prescription, right? I say, hey, you got a sign that says you need a Z-Pack. When you leave that office, you and I know that you're going to be compliant. For the first day, you're going to take them 2 pills. The next 3 days, you're going to take a pill, and be done with the plan. Same thing when I say, hey, you need cannabis. I got to recommend something that you're going to be able to take daily. Because compliance is why you're here. That's what we do, right? Got my MD to say, hey, I'm going to prescribe something or recommend something. We're both going to agree that you're going to do it. Diet, exercise, sleep. But it's a handshake. So that's it.
All right, wonderful, thank you. So, last question, I'm gonna finish out with you, Stanley. How can we tackle the negative judgments about cannabis for health?
I think one of the primary ways that we can tackle that is by events like you're sitting in right this moment. We can't talk about what's not being discussed. So as Dr. Hodge said, we're not going to make any claims, but right now it is up to you what's helping you. what helped his inflammation may not help my gastrointestinal pain. What helps her with the symptoms of PMS might not help him for his anxiety. So we have to understand that bringing the conversation up is a part of the work. So the next time you see your doctor and whatever you're seeing them for, ask them, are they knowledgeable about medical cannabis? Because a lot of times, us advocates and educators, we're the ones teaching our physicians. So don't be afraid to talk to them about it. And there's a lot of companies that'll make claims saying that, oh, if you take our gummy or you take our tincture, you can just throw your medications out. Don't do that. Because oftentimes there are medications that you need to keep taking. We were talking about earlier, there's a thing called a polypharmacy approach, which means still using different pharmaceuticals in conjunction with the medical cannabis. So beginning to talk about talk to your physicians, talk to your family, and talk to your children, because this program encompasses every age and bracket.
I just wanted to add on to that because there is a test available to let you know what is the best THC ratio for your medical condition based on. So I'm really into the diagnostic test.
Well, then let me ask you this question. Let me ask you, because I have the perfect question. So how could progress in cannabis genetics and drug study lead to treatments that are more specifically aimed at certain problems? You got a minute.
Like I said earlier, I'm working on an outcome study based on what your preference is. I have a nonprofit research thing that we can talk about, Dr. Hodge. Is to study what specific item you're using. I call them gifts from God, that you're using, and then what results you're getting and what you're trying to take. So it's going to be a collaborative, basically a collective data and information database, so we can create more specific things for that.
Yeah, can I add to that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you got 30 seconds.
All right, I love it, but I'm not a fan of labs making more money. So when I do my recommendations, I have a parent and I got a patient, they got sickle cell. I say, hey, look, mom, your son or daughter is half you, half you. What do you take? If it works for you, there's a great chance it's going to work. That's genetics.
I agree with that.
That's it. That's it. Mom and dad, what you taking? Or, you know what? I have done this hundreds of times. I know this card is for your child, but he's your child. I can't recommend what I take. Try it. I don't care being tried. First of all, it makes them comfortable. It helps with compliance. 3, I know it's going to work because, again, half and half is that kid. That's genetic.
That makes sense. I agree with that.
This is my approach, but
But
medicine
not
is an
all
art.
parents, not all parents are cannabis, pro-cannabis.
But if they come in to see me, they are desperate.
Yeah.
99.9% of people that have come see me, and I've done thousands of recommendations, they want some hope.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't, and if cannabis gives you hope, I don't want to give you false hope because I was a part of that. Hey, this is going to cure your cancer. This is going to cure this. They still died. And I was heartbroken. They was heartbroken. So it's not the hope healer, but faith, yeah. But
Comfort care.
Yes.
Comfort care.
Compassionate care. So let's give it up for our panelists. Thank you so much. So we are going to do our best to answer a few questions at the end of the house for our panelists. Please break those down. We're going to do our best to allocate time. So I think we're going to move on to our next panel discussion. So give it up one more time for our panelists. I will get to our next set of panelists. I'm taking my bill. Yeah. Representative Bell, I'd like to invite you to come to the panel, and Teresa as well. It's time. Can I invite you to the front, please? Thank you.
Well, what up, baby? See you.
Do we have Representative Bell still?
Yeah, I'm gonna call him. He's coming. He told me to let him know. Yeah. Yeah, he's supposed to come with he's coming because either way he's coming when we talk about Nathan.
Excellent. Okay, great.
I'm calling him now.
You do too.
And look around the room, everybody. This room, everybody in this room looks different. This is what advocacy looks like. It's not a particular group, a particular voice, a particular height. It's everybody. And think of the ones that aren't here today. I'm just thankful that we had this many people that could be here in the middle of the day on a Wednesday. You know, so if you really want to know what's on the menu, you gotta kind of table and make it.
Well, whenever he's ready, we'll just slide him in.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, he's busy.
He's running around, so
Yeah.
we're doing our best to get him in the room, but we'll get started with this panel. So we're gonna focus on path to decriminalization here in Georgia. We have been able to do some decrim in Atlanta and in a few of the neighboring counties, but we have more work to do. So I would like to introduce our newest panelist, Teresa Yarborough. Actually, I'll let you introduce yourself.
I'm Teresa Yarborough, of Georgia, in Georgia. I am the founder and director of the Georgia Cannabis Industry Alliance. Also comes to Georgia.
Okay. Thank you. And we'll give another warm welcome to Stanley. Thank you. All right, so I want to start this conversation off by noting the differences between decriminalization and cannabis legalization. They are not the same.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna stand up for this one because you don't have to be tall to walk tall, but I'm short. There's a significant difference between legalization and decriminalization. I've been fortunate enough to be a part of 3 successful decriminalization ordinances here in the state of Georgia. We have with the city of Atlanta, the city of South Fulton, and the city of Macon. And as you've seen in the news, there's other jurisdictions who are decriminalizing. So what decriminalization is, in a nutshell, it takes an offense that was previously an arrestable or jailable offense and makes it a civil crime, similar to jaywalking. Has anyone been arrested for jaywalking before? Yes, but it's just likelihood is not likely. Many times, if they do anything, it'll be a citation. So what decriminalization does is lower the punitive impact for being caught with up to 1 ounce of cannabis. Legalization is a full, what we call an adult use program. So like Nevada, California, New York, that means that it is fully legal, it is regulated, it is taxed, and that people can legally start a business and sell THC, whether it's concentrates, flower. So we want to make sure that there's a fine line in our discussion between legalization and decriminalization, because what proponents who are against us usually use against us is when we're in the commission or the meeting or the town hall for decriminalization, somebody's always going to grab the mic and be like, oh, they want to decriminalize, but everybody can just be selling it. No, we want to lower the impact of public health, because a person being arrested for marijuana is oftentimes their introduction to the criminal justice system. So decriminalization just lowers the offense impact up to a certain amount. Legalization means that it is regulated, can be grown and sold throughout the state. So that's the primary difference. I had to stand up for that.
Thank you, yes.
Teresa, so what are the possible problems and benefits we might see as we move forward toward making cannabis legal?
Well, the problem that I see right up here in the state house.
Yeah, let's hear about it.
We can't get enough positive movement.
Mhm.
We're moving backwards. For example, we have HB 350 hemp agriculture that will weaponize the state, the agriculture department, and of course give them police powers to enforce hemp. We're doing a panel this Saturday, matter of fact, hemp under fire. Legislation is killing the hemp. So that's the first thing we've got to tackle. We've got to stop becoming dependent on everybody like us to fight this battle. We need everybody. If you smoke marijuana and you like it as much as I do, you have your butt up there.
Thank you. Say again.
Yeah, that's too far.
Yeah, so yeah, no, the benefits. You paused, so I thought you were done.
No, I just took a breath.
Okay, I'll let you have that break. I'm quick. If you pause for too long, I'm gonna move on.
Okay, all right. The benefits are that we don't, we can have whole plant medicine. We can merge our medical cannabis and our adult cannabis together and with whole plant and heal our whole state without consequence, without fearing the police, or, can't do job. So the benefit is that we're free.
Yeah. Listen, freer than now.
We're freer than we're freer, and we've already seen what legalization is, right?
Yeah.
MSOs, truly.
So, Stanley, how does decriminalization affect the quality, safety, and regulation of cannabis products?
So legalization.
I said, how does decriminalization affect the quality, safety?
Well, how to affect the legalized products, that is still to be determined. I was actually looking up some research on this because there's not a lot of places that are just strictly decriminalized. And most of these decriminalization ordinances or laws are pretty new within the last 10 years. And so it takes a while to see the arrests, the lack of arrest, the lack of people paying probation, the lack of people paying court fees, to see how does it benefit or hold up any jurisdiction. I don't think that any jurisdiction benefits from prosecuting low-level marijuana crimes. And what I mean by that is anything less than 1 ounce. Because again, this is a harm reduction. So when I propose decriminalization, so if you're a legislator, your mayor reaches out to me, I don't say, hey, we're just going to decrim. We propose it as a harm reduction model. Because by doing this, we're reducing the harms incurred by a person that gets arrested. And for a lot of legislators, I paint this picture. We'll just use a city called, Sumter. In Sumter, if a college student who was your star athlete got a 4-year ride scholarship to Georgia, he's a star quarterback, but he comes home for spring break to your local town. He gets caught with a joint or half a joint behind his ear. He's then arrested. His car is towed and impounded. If he had to go to work tomorrow, he's a no call, no show. He's gonna lose his scholarship. And so the neighborhood that he did all that to try to get away from, he's now being forced into that. Many guys who say, I didn't have a lot of experiences with gangs and crime until I went to jail. So it lowers the impact of the criminal justice system because going to jail does not help.
No, not at all. Thank you for that. And I want to take a moment to welcome Representative Bell. Thank you so much. I know you're busy here. Please. Yeah.
How's everyone doing today?
All right.
Good, good. Good to be around family and like minds.
Yay.
Shout out to my fellow patients. But thank you. My name is Representative Bell, Eric Bell, 5 Clayton County. A little bit tardy. Got a lot of committee meetings going on. Got our now drug from eligibility for financial aid, student loans, hope scholarship, and in-state tuition in Georgia. So we're trying to push it through. Got people working for it. on the daily basis.
Yes.
It's time to get some legalization efforts going, and I'm not talking about truly how those big brands. Well, as my aunt says, cottage, cottage. Yes, we need cottage where small business and individuals who have acted in the industry for decades, way to have that minority and small business.
Amazing. That's actually a perfect segue for the question I have for you. So thank you.
Well, can I-
That's perfect.
can I comment?
You can comment, of course.
I'm glad you mentioned that, and, that's part of, our, legacy to legal. That's, what we're looking at. If you want to, grow and sell marijuana in a small grow, that would be a cottage industry product. And, we're looking for a lot of our legacy growers who've been legal for so long to now to get into the legal.
Exactly. So we only have a few more minutes left for panels, but I wanted to finish us off with a question for you, Eric. Can taxing and controlling cannabis be a steady way for states to make money without unfairly affecting disadvantaged groups?
I believe that's the way it's been. If you didn't know, Colorado was one of the states. If you didn't know, Colorado was one of the states that didn't go through recession during this period. And why? Because they legalized marijuana during the most of the millions of dollars have poured into Colorado for education, mental health, public safety, whatever they want to use that for. And here in Georgia, we're still sitting behind waiting behind the time, see what happens. And my biggest fear is that, like I said earlier, that all businesses, individuals like yourself will not be able to buy in.
No, it's okay.
Yes, but it's fine.
A little bit too. That's why I got these questions in front of me.
But as far as the tax, yeah, this is a great representative for it. We're underfunding Medicaid, we're underfunding healthcare, we're underfunding education. All that can go to fund. We're underfunding mental health. I'm not a opponent of prisons, but the prisons are underfunded. We have prisons in Georgia without air. Like there's no air. We have prisons with where the toilets don't come. We have prisons without healthcare, or we have prisons without education opportunities. All that can go to fund those different opportunities for those individuals. So when they come back to society, they reach society. They're prosperous. They're individuals who are waiting to come back to our community. They're going to pour into our community. So definitely marijuana, cannabis, hemp, green, Reggie, Bobby Brown, Keisha, Snowcap, Zaza, whatever you want to call it. It presents a great opportunity for us to move forward and survive.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So we are at the end of our panel. We do have to keep it moving, but I do want to allow for, let me look at my time real quick. I want to allow for 2 questions. Are there any? Oh, the hand went up so fast. Yes, can I?
I just learned today that, the people who are driver license,
Mhm.
and I was just Google, and I can't find who they do it. Anyone know if they do it?
That has been addressed. That's one of the things that I did testify during the House Bill 797. I advised the subcommittee then that our driver's license is connected to, the card. So yeah, that's one thing. That's one of our concerns. That's one of the bills that we has started. I've been working with some representatives around here and have introduced to. I know I talked to Representative Bell, Representative Tran, other representatives. However, we're going to be set up pretty much for next year because, like I say, we're late in the session right now, so we need to make sure that we get behind House Bill 853 so that we can go ahead and make sure you get out there and testify and all that other stuff. But anyway, yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. I did see another hand. Yes, in the back.
I had a question about the farm bill. It opened up a lot of our, if you were buying, like online now, you can do it like online, and you can cultivate those as long as they're non-compatible. But now I'm hearing that with the new farm bill act, that you won't be able to cultivate, won't be able to do any, like edibles, all of those things.
Well, let's address it in two parts. We'll start with you.
Yeah, so outside of medical cannabis, I work with Minorities for Medical Marijuana, and I'm the National Director of Hemp Farming and Technology. And I didn't expect that to come up in this room because we're talking about cannabis, but I appreciate it. So yes, hemp was made legal by the 2018 Federal Farm Bill. They redo this bill every 5 years. So guess what? It's time. They started on it last year and they're working on it now. There are significant language changes that have been introduced into it. It has not been signed. And what she's stating is how would this, if she starts a hemp farm, she starts growing it, she extracts it to make gummies and Delta 8, how would this affect her business? When it comes to the Delta 8, the Delta 9, Delta 10, THCP, THCO, HHC, every day they're coming up with different. They go to the vape store and see all those acronyms, like, okay. Those are the minor novel and synthetic cannabinoids. So with each time they legalize something, there's going to be a separate group of chemists or people who are trying to find out, okay, if I take one molecule of this and add it with this, it won't be legal. So this means that you're going to need to find out who your elected official is in Capitol Hill. We have some legislators from Georgia who actually sit on the Federal Ag Committee. And this is when we need to, your voice needs to be heard in Washington, D.C., because this is a federal conversation that actually trumps anything that the state is going to do, but it does tie directly into you and your ability to vertically integrate a hemp business. I hope that helps.
I would like to follow up by saying that right now there are many more bills that are going to ban certain hemp-derived substances like THCA, THCA, and more. So if you're planning on getting into any hemp-derived industry right now, I would until we figure out what's going to happen. There are efforts all over the country to ban certain hemp-derived products. So we're in a backup situation right now instead of moving forward with the hemp-derived.
Yes. I still wouldn't. I disagree. Still go for your hemp. There's 40 other isomers of cannabis. Scientists are coming out with this stuff daily. So they try to make Delta 8 illegal. There'll be a Delta 6.
Yeah.
But that was really shocked me.
Yeah.
That your driver's license has stuff that. So
Exactly.
As, you know, a civilian, first thing I'm thinking, HIPAA laws.
Mm-hmm.
Right, officer know what the hell's going on with your medical. So if, does anybody have an answer to that? I know we spoke about Georgia, but do we know are other states allowing this?
I don't know, but it's been addressed. Yeah.
So I don't so I heard this question get raised. And I know that my caregiver brought it to drive like so you know we can do it come up with a solution so without that driver's license but that barcode all of them have so how much information they have what is it just the database date of birth right so it's all about cross-functional database so you're dealing with state so at least if we're going to have those add the picture to the ID have state issue ID but there's a question that you have to ask the state directly on how those I don't know.
Well, I would like to say that I do agree with Dr. Paul on the fact there are hemp industrial uses that you can start doing now, but when it comes to consumer, the consumable products, then hemp is questionable right now.
Chime into it, and we're also looking at legislature. If you see, well, you know, any gas station right now and find something with THC or CBD, we're also looking at ways, especially over about safe access, so we can actually regulate what we know with these products, whether it's synthetic, whether it's natural, because ultimately it's about a better quality of life, and we don't want anyone taking stuff that's not healthy. And that's something that we're not speaking about, that we're just turning the blind eye and saying, oh, well, it's illegal, but it's a thriving industry. So we need, so we need to protect people that engage.
Oh, yeah.
All
position on how we can help out for. I suppose that we have conversations about Georgia, the research and development. A lot of us don't do it. But we also know the posture of the legislature in Georgia about the opportunities for the best class type space. So having a adult use type program under medical or research and development, how do we expand those things? How do we get it also with planning, for research and development, also those products? Get a posture of the panel of your thoughts of forward, and being creative on how we kind of, what are your thoughts on expand a medical program for patients, but also that includes like flower. It's a question on if we would have hemp for research, medicinal, pharmaceutical based hemp that the dispensaries may be able to consume for patients, safe access, not just those who want adult use, because there's still patients that need the medicine. What are the thoughts from the panel, and this for anybody on the panel, on how we try to move forward Georgia, because if we let the pharmacy do it, we find their part. But how do we do it and create this space for medical patients, even for those who use it adult?
Well, medical patients aren't getting the full plant they need right now. And that is the only way that we're going to help patients is by getting them whole plant because of the entourage effect. We can't just depend on distillates and extractions to do the curing. Now it might make you feel better, you know, it might make you feel better that way. But we've got to go for whole plant. The medical and the adult use community has got to unite in this, and we have got to retrain our activists. And that's the best approach that I know of. You've already had your time.
I got something to say. So I started a private nonprofit research and development ministry, which I was talking about the surveys and outcomes earlier that, you know, I'm trying to get Dr. Hodge to take a look at. Once that is up and running, that's a way for patients to get what they need the way they want it. They just have to register and join the private nonprofit ministry, and then complete the survey after they get their gift from God and give their donation to the ministry. So if you have questions about that, please reach out to me. If you need my information, you can ask anybody here. Almost everybody here has mine. Or I'll see you at the bookstore later.
All right. You can make one announcement. You get one though.
Look, this is my organization. I would like to invite all of you out Saturday night to Lance Robertson's place, CBD City. Tell the address, Lance.
CBD City.
I go on radiating to CBD City. It's legal.
Hemp under fire. Legislation is killing the hemp industry. 6 o'clock promptly, folks.
Come to the neighborhood.
Yes, thank you.
Back to the neighborhood.
So before we wrap up with closing remarks and talk about the incarceration of Nathan Johnson, I wanted to bring your attention to the agenda that we shared. So if we want to build momentum, correct? This room is full of folks who can help us move cannabis policy in Georgia. So we have a series of QR codes back here for you. You can take the survey afterwards. We want your feedback. We want to hear from you. So please take the survey, take a moment to do that. There's also the petition for Nathan Johnson. So after we have a discussion, I really would love to see everyone sign that petition. And as Teresa mentioned, we're almost done, folks. We're almost done, I promise. So as Teresa mentioned, we need more training. And so we are throwing an activist training series. Is that better for you? An activist training series. So please scan the QR code for that if you're interested in participating in that series. And then we also have current Georgia cannabis bills, as well as different advocacy organizations, as well as different advocacy. Oh,
New mic.
No worries, new mic. Y'all can hear me. And then the very last thing is we have the Cannabis Advocacy advocacy and reform organizations to follow, support, and donate. And that's all located on the back of this beautiful piece of paper. We do apologize we didn't get. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and let our panelists sit here so we don't have to shuffle around. We only have a few more minutes. But I did want to kick it to Yolanda, who is the other half of the Georgia Medical Cannabis Society and the co-founder of Cannabis Network. She's going to take a moment to talk a little bit about Nathan Johnson along with herself. So if you want to go ahead and kick us off, or excuse me, Yolanda.
Yeah. So basically, we can. I'm gonna run through right quick. Nathan Johnson is currently incarcerated at Lee State Prison. Nathan is a Navy veteran, embroiled with I'm just gonna run down right quick. We can pretty much go over this over here to recap and regroup because I know we got to be out this room and stuff. And first of all, I want to apologize for us getting in here a little late. We thought, because the other event ran over a little bit. So like I say, hopefully our next event will be on time and orderly. And like I say, we appreciate y'all coming out, and we'll talk about Nathan Johnson over there at the recap and regroup. Oh, I'm sorry. Unless you wanted to talk about it. Unless you want to do.
Yeah.
Sign
that petition. Sign that petition. Free Nathan Johnson. It's on the back of that piece of paper. Please stand and sign.
Free all patients, users, smokers, any individual incarcerated for marijuana. Depression, they just want to have a good time. Right?
Yes, correct.
So thank you all for being here. There's other legislation that honoring the room for AR reporters, Shelley Hutchinson, Senator Harold Smith, Representative Kim Alexander, and their support. We believe.
I'm a marijuana, convicted marijuana.
All right, so that's the end of our discussion. We want to go over at the bookstore gallery. The bookstore gallery will be there from 5 to 7. This is a great moment for us to come together, connect, network with each other, and hear a little bit more about Nathan Johnson's case. Please, we'd love to see you there. And let's give a round of applause for our lovely panelists. Thank you. We got snacks in the corner. You need to take them. Water bottle. Now we go. Thank you. Thank you. You would have never done so much. Thank you. Because I looked over you a couple times. I was like, I'm not gonna remember it now. I'm gonna disrespect it. I don't want to stand in front of you. I want to hit this. Yeah. I'll be quick. I promise. I'll be quick. I would love to see my mic. Oh, yeah.
So yeah, if y'all want to take, if you want to take it outside the room, I don't know.
I'm glad you were able to put your head on top and then.
No, I don't think so.
You really do got a great career out there.
Yeah.
That was fun. I had a blast.
I'm trying to find my mic back. It's like.
You should help. I'm gonna help you.
Yeah, I'm good.
Put my email on there and my
You in Georgia?
Okay. Yeah, bro, I got chronic pain. 18 different bones.
Instagram flagged my account because of a video of my father and son car. And so I shared my story. I'm like, real father and son basically kicking me. I used to work with high rollers. And if you won your division, you want to.
It ain't out there. It's a little black handle bag that's got mic bag. Yeah, I hope I didn't.
We always need records.
Huh.
I'll follow you back too. Yeah, shoot me a text and I'll be able to get that. Yeah, man. And I try to. If it's a time you want to catch for the mission,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where my mic bag is. I don't know if I left oh shoot, let me turn this off. Yeah, it's black. It's got mic on it.